What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Kick-Ass Podcast. We are here this evening to discuss all things AEW World's End. I was lucky enough to be able to attend this past Saturday or at the Additional Financial Arena, of course, here in Orlando, Florida. So I definitely wanted to sit down and get a chance and kind of dissect things. I finally got a chance now to talk about it. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I had a little bit of a headache. Just didn't really, just wasn't. I don't know, was in a weird place yesterday. But I'm here now to sit down and talk about it. Because I definitely want to overall, and it could be a little bit of biasy as well. Obviously, being there in person, your excitement level and things like that is a little bit heightened. So I may be a little biased. But I haven't honestly gone and listened to too many review shows. I've listened to one in particular. But I kind of wanted to stay as unbiased and just kind of like stick with my own thoughts as I could until I at least got it off my chest. Because like I said, there was definitely some high points in the show, in my opinion, but definitely some low points as well. So we'll kind of dissect that a little bit and get into that as we go along. But as always, thank you so much for joining me here. Whether you're popping in now live, I appreciate that. If you are, feel free to drop a comment. Just whatever, if it's in regards to something I said or just your thoughts in general of the show, I'd love to hear that. Or if you are watching in the future, welcome and thank you for listening on replay. I appreciate that as well. But yeah, definitely feel free to drop a comment as well. Though if you are, like I said, watching in the future, aren't able to watch live, that's totally cool. I'm a very random and kind of like impromptu, I guess, person and creator. Obviously a person, but I guess creator. It's kind of weird. I don't like labels, but I'm just random when it comes over here when I go live and stuff like that. And just really depends on when I can squeeze it in. So that's why I'm here now. But the point of that is to subscribe if you haven't already. And you can, I believe, turn on the little bell for notifications is what they all say. But yeah, whatever suits your fancy. I appreciate you popping in. I'm not gonna waste too much time. Because like I said, I'm kind of excited to get into the show here and talk about it. And I don't want to keep it too long. I always say I'm not gonna go too long, and I end up going like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. It's crazy. But yeah, gonna get into the show here, and also I changed my camera setup and some stuff, so I don't know. We'll see if it stays like this, but if not, yeah, if I have to pause during the stream, if it bothers me too much, just forgive me, guys, forgive me. But pulling up the card here, and again, obviously, as stated before, and everyone knows at this point, it was held live in Orlando, Florida. The arena, I really dig the arena. It's the Addition Financial Arena. It's pretty much connected. I don't know much of the landscape or the geography here. I'm still kind of new to the area, but my understanding is it is definitely affiliated with UCF. It's definitely in that area, which is a pretty big college down here, local college down here. But the area is pretty cool. There's a lot of local eatery and stuff like that, not too far, and a couple like random just restaurants, which is cool. But the parking garage is right across the street, which is very convenient. But the arena itself, though, I think is really fitting for AEW, especially in the landscape that they're in right now in regards to ticket sales and attendance and stuff like that. Not even a knock, just kind of just stating facts. I believe last night, I don't remember I don't know what the official tally was, but I think last time I checked, it was like between 6,000 and 7,000 people, and tickets sold, which is it's a pretty good turnout. And I did post a video on my YouTube page, on my YouTube and TikTok page, just kind of like a compilation of all the clips that I took from the show, mainly entrances and some like random spots in some of the matches. I was kicking myself because I freaking missed Adam Copeland's spear because I was looking at Christian. I was kicking myself, man. But at the beginning of that video, you can kind of see the layout and the amount of fans. I would say it was probably about like 85% full. The majority in the layout of the arena, it kind of has the majority of the people in attendance in the lower portion. And then obviously they have like a higher area, a higher tier. But that honestly doesn't have many seats in it. Probably, I don't know, I'm not going to make an estimation of seats, but I would say maybe like a fraction of the lower level, which actually ends up being like the main seating area. Those were I don't want to say empty because it sounds bad, but those were not filled. But again, to be fair, it's not really that noticeable unless you're looking for it. And I think the main areas that, especially that I haven't watched the actual production and the pay-per-view, obviously, since I was live, but I imagine the camera angles and stuff like that, they were able to get like full shots and wide angle shots of the fans because it was definitely filled. And I was happy for them. You know, they, of course, WWE had a live show maybe 15, 20 minutes across the way, also in Orlando at the Kia Center. And a couple of my friends actually went to that instead with their kids. And they said it was a good show, you know, nothing crazy or anything like that. But I believe there was like maybe 10,000 people there. So it was definitely a good night for professional wrestling in the Orlando area. And shout out to AEW and obviously WWE. They don't have any issues, but I was proud of AEW. Once I got there and saw the turnout, that it wasn't like a mass area of like empty seats or anything like that, or open spots or anything of that nature. It was a really good turnout, especially like I said, with competition being right down the road. And it was I was one of those people that was like, man, I bought the AEW ticket first. And then I was kind of like 50-50 on if I was going to be regretting not going to the WWE show or not. But I'm very happy I went to World's End. So that's why I wanted to obviously sit down. Of course, that's what I do here, right? And talk about the show, but just more so too, kind of like the vibes. And before we get into the card itself, that I will say is a little bit different. I remember I was at the inaugural Dynamite show in DC, which it's almost unfair to even compare at this point. But even fast forwarding a bit to Revolution when they were last here in Orlando, especially for a pay-per-view, I think that was actually my last AEW show, was the Revolution one, which again is night and day because the one match that sticks out to me on that one was the CM Punk versus MJF match, which was just amazing. So it's kind of wild to think of where AEW was and where they're at now. But I bring that up just because the kind of like the energy is just different. I remember going to those earlier shows and it was just a vibe. Like everyone was like just like kind of interacting with each other. There was a lot going on. It was just like they had like a buzz to it. The World's End show, I'm not saying that it there definitely was like a little bit of like buzz and excitement in the air, but there was no woos or no nothing. And again, not that I'm even advocating for that at this point, but it's just like not your normal the normal vibe that you would hear in or vibe that you would feel and stuff that you would hear at a WWE or not WWE show, an AEW show. So I was kind of surprised by that. It was just kind of people just going through the motions, trying to get in line to get their stuff. The merch was okay. It wasn't anything that was actually too impressive, again, to be honest. And I was kind of bummed because, maybe I can see if I can bring the camera up a bit. It's not gonna. I have a poster of AEW Revolution that for the AEW Revolution even when they were here. It's a pretty simple poster. It's just like I might see. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can bring it down. Just because this is kind of important to me. You guys may not care, but it kind of leads to a couple points. So I actually want to grab it really quick. All right, cool. So here it is. Again, nothing too crazy. But this was the poster. Make sure I unmuted myself. Last time I was talking on mute. But this is the poster that they have for Revolution. And again, there we go. Nothing crazy. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. But I like stuff like this. We're obviously Orlando, Florida. I was there. I am a sucker for I was there stuff. That I am that person that goes to shows, festivals, concerts, whatever it is, and looks for the stuff that's like like specific for that event, because I like to go back and wear like old band tees and stuff like that, and it's cool to look back on the lineup. It's like, man, like you remember that show and that person was there, like whatever, or just like it's just kind of cool, like thinking about like, man, I was there, and just thinking on the event. So I was really like excited for something like that, like commemorative items or whatever. And unless I missed it, I got there right like at like 6:55, so about 5 minutes before the pre-show started at 7, and obviously the show or started at 8. And I walked around. I saw two merch stands, and I didn't see anything specific like that. Of course, they had like a World's End with the logo, just like a blank, just the logo itself. On the front of the t-shirt, nothing on the back that even said I was there. And then they had a picture of the main event, all four guys on there. I didn't really like that one because I wasn't a fan of the main event, so I definitely wasn't going to be copping that. Full transparency. But I ended up ordering it online again, since I was like, there's no reason to get it here on site. There's nothing that says that I was there. I'll just get it since I was there. But yeah, and it was a much better deal online. Online, they were running like a 25% off sale, whatever. But yeah, long story short, my point with all that is, please, and I feel like I say this all the time, I really want AEW to step up their merch game and just step up the little things like that. Like, man, they could have had lanyards, little bracelets, whatever, like bags, like nothing. Like specifically to that event, like make it feel like a big deal. You know, like I know it's not like All In, or I don't know what their big fours are gonna be. But I don't know, like it just, if you make it a big deal, like everyone, it's gonna feel like a big deal, and more and more people will feel the importance of it. So I was just kind of bummed. I was just kind of bummed by that. But I'm gonna pull up the chat here really quick. What's up? What's up? Rewind 89. We did. I heard. We got. You say. We got two big returns, but still the GOAT Taz hasn't made his return. Shake my head. But he was on commentary. What night was it? What night was he on commentary? Was it? I don't know. I am. God, am I like going crazy? But I swore I heard him on commentary very recently, because it made me think of you. But I feel like he popped up somewhere. Again, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, maybe I was watching an older show, but I don't think so. What is up, Unexpected Wrestling? What is up? What is up? He'll always be Edge to me. Always be Edge to me. I have gotten better with like the Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, like mix up and mesh there, but I just, and it kind of feel weird. I mean, it's the same thing with Bryan Danielson too. That's his government name, but it's just weird to me calling like a wrestler like Edge Adam Copeland, because I know him as Edge, right? And like he's been Edge my entire life, you know, my entire fandom, and calling him Adam Copeland like kind of feels like I'm like being too personal with him. At least Bryan Danielson, he was Bryan Danielson prior, then he went to WWE, so that's a little bit easier. But like I just feel like I'm like, yo, I don't know you, you know, like I don't know you personally to like be calling you by your government, you know what I mean? But obviously I can't call him Edge, but he'll always be Edge to us. But yo, Maddie Marijuana, what is up, my friend? I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble saying your name. I don't know like the words or whatever, but what up, Maddie? What up, friend? Yeah, it is the last Raw till Netflix. Do you guys think it's gonna be a good show, or do you think they're gonna kind of phone it in? Yeah, that's what I said earlier at the start of the show. I'm not gonna be on here too long, so we can all get to Raw. But next week, y'all, it's gonna be a big fucking deal. So I'm excited for that, for sure. If Taz was there, it would be standing room only. Facts. Fucking facts. Yeah, man. Tupac. R.I.P. R.I.P. Edge. What's up, Nick? What up, my friend? You said Edge looked great. The fucking abs on that dude, like washboard. Like insane, dude. Insane. And where my seats were, I was actually kind of in like a pretty good view. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. If I took some video, obviously I took videos, right? Compilation video, and I posted it on. It actually ended up being much longer than it would be. But it's because a couple of the segments, like the segment with Swerve was like 4 or 5 minutes, and then Kenny Omega's return was like 7 minutes. So I threw all that kind of into like a compilation video. But I was really happy with my seats. But I got a pretty good close up I took some pictures obviously as well of Edge. And when I was kind of looking back through him last night, I was like, God, like this dude is just fucking ripped. Like ripped. I think he's actually him and Christian before they had their split, right? They had started some plank company. It was like some plank board, obviously. Like, well, if you guys work out, like planking. Used to be like a big thing like years ago. It was like a challenge or something, I think. Or was that whatever? Doesn't matter. But they made like some board or something, and he like him and Christian both like attributed that to like really improving their core strength and stuff. And if that's it, then I need to get one of them boards because damn. Um, Nick, you said I got a raccoon holding money in the bank briefcase from the shoes. Yeah, dude, just like dumb, not no offense, but just like dumb shit like that. Like I have like random shit. I have Pharaoh. I have Cody Rhodes, like the plush version of Pharaoh. In my closet, I have oh, from Philly, the Philly bird. I have that from WrestleMania. Just like dumb shit. I am that person. If you are looking to sell dumb shit at events like that, hi, I'm right here. Do you take cash or card? Like that's all I need to know. And so like that's what I look forward to the most. And they just missed out, man. And again, like maybe I missed that one table that had all the shit, but if that's the case too, like you need to spread it out. So yeah, I don't know. But I was very disappointed. So I just ordered my shit online. And I ordered a Ricky Stark shirt that was like 35% off. So really happy with that. So let's go. Sai, what is up, my friend? You said love the merch. I had a front row seat to SummerSlam in Toronto and got to take the seat home with me, then have it in then or I guess gave it to some random kid I'll never see. Oh, you gave your seat away, dude? Oh, that hurts my heart. You're a much better person than I am because no, I am not giving that seat up. Man, it's crazy because actually from the DC show for Dynamite, the inaugural Dynamite show, they had those commemorative seats, and of course WWE does it with like every pay per view. I think, especially the bigger ones, if you get floor seats. They were this dude like I was following, kind of weird, but I was walking behind him, not stalking him, to get to the parking deck, and he had one of the seats, and no lie, at least two people that I heard stopped him and tried to buy the seat right off of him. One dude even offered him $500. And he was like, nah, like I'm gonna keep it type thing. But yeah, like, and my friend Ollie, who lives in the UK, I think he said like he's spent like over $100 to like have that thing. Well, I mean, he lives in the UK, so that's different. No, it wasn't my friend Ollie. It was my friend Walter. That's why it made more sense. My friend Walter had it shipped from. It was just like a few states. It was like a 5-hour drive, so it couldn't have been. I think maybe from like. Maybe it was Mania to Baltimore or some shit. I don't know, but not far. And that shit was like over $100. So, oh man, bless you for giving that away. Did you just not want it, or like why? Like, did the kid seem like sad, or like, bless you, man? You're a much better dude than I am. What's up, Ringside Renaissance? What is up? What is up? Oh, sorry. It's like, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was great seats. Like 30. It was $34 for the seat itself, and then it was like it ended up coming to $48 total for like the convenience fee and all the bullshit charges that they add in. So less than $50. I was blown away. So that's what I was like, yeah, it's no brainer. Oops. Yeah, Ringside Renaissance. I did. Thank you guys for being in the chat. And as always, if you guys are not subscribed, you definitely need to be. I aspire to be like those guys. Yeah, Rewind, you said Edge is aging like fine wine. That is the truth. I need whatever is in the water up there in Asheville. And I put that on there for you, Sai. Nick says, damn, that was nice of you, Sai. It was very nice. Very nice because, whew, couldn't be me. Unless, depending on the circumstances for the kid. But I'm not a complete asshole, but bro, like it's gotta be something I don't want to say serious, but like something real for me to give up that seat. But yeah, I'm gonna dive right into the show here, and get into the card. But I just kind of wanted to touch base and kind of just talk a little bit about like just like the observations of the arena itself and just kind of what was going on outside the inside of the arena. But yeah, and like the corridor and stuff. But overall, it like I said, like the energy was cool, but it was just different. It was just different. Like the excitement was, I would say, probably at out of a 10, maybe like a 5 or a 6. And for AEW, man, that shit used to be 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. And I did go to the Chicago show, but that's obviously not fair when Punk debuted. But and I was debating on going to. I don't know though. I don't know. What do you guys think? I was debating on going to. They have a Collision. I think it's January 25th. A Collision show here in Jacksonville. It's about like a 2.5 hour drive, I think, from where I stay. Gosh, I don't even know if I have off now at this point. But I was debating on going, but it's Collision, man, and I don't know. And I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Well, my game might be ready. If I have to. Okay, I was downloading. I just bought Diablo 4 the other night, so me and my best friend can play. But so that's just trying to download. PlayStation 4 takes 4 fucking ever to download things, man. It's unreal. Between that and Fortnite, like I start early in the day. Like if I even think I want to play Fortnite, I check as early as I have that thought to see, okay, and does it have to do another update? Because I need to start that shit now. Because that thing just takes 4 fucking ever. Maybe it's my, I don't know, because my internet seems fine for everything else, but I don't know. I'll have to check on that. But getting to the card itself, and again, to put this out there, and if you're just piping in now or whatever, I have not seen the pay-per-view as it aired on TV. I was just there live, so obviously I did not hear anything from commentary or anything like that. I can just tell you what I saw and what I heard. But I will say also one more thing before I get to the card. But this plays into the kind of, I guess, my perspective and my Onsite thoughts. I didn't like how. First of all, let me take that back. Start with the positive. I thought it was really cool how Renee, RJ City, and Matt Menard were right there. So where they were doing, they had their little like half round table type thing, where they had their little panel set up. Obviously, it was like right in front of the ring. That was almost like almost in my direct view, my direct eyesight. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And they were sitting there. So by the time I got into the inside to get to my seats, I saw them sitting there, but the lights were off because there was the match going on with the Outrunners and all them. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So after the match, they obviously went back to Renee. I think it's a Renee Young. If I did, my bad. Renee Paquette. But they went to her, and I'm just going to call it the panel. They went to the panel, and you couldn't hear anything. So it's like the people in the audience, like you can't hear anything. Like at least let us hear what the panel are saying. Like they're quote unquote hyping up the show, right? For the pre-show and trying to get those last minute buyers and stuff for the pay-per-view buys. But like, why can't we at least hear them in the arena? And I don't know. I don't honestly know if WWE does that. If it's that, if that's the case as well. But I wonder if, like, for instance, I know for WrestleMania at least, and again, maybe this isn't fair because WrestleMania is the biggest show, right? But when they had the pre-show panel, like with Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, CM Punk was there, Big E, you could hear obviously them talking. They were right in front of us, so you could hear what they were saying. We could react and things like that. You had no idea what Renee and RJ City and Matt were saying. So it's like, it's really cool that you guys put them right here, like kind of like almost in like the center of everything, the center on the side of everything, but we can't hear what they're saying. So I was like, man, like, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe there's a specific reason why maybe they couldn't do it, or maybe they couldn't splice it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a technical reason that I'm just not aware of, but I was just kind of bummed by that. I just thought that could be something cool for us to hear, us in the fans, because sometimes, and it's crazy to say, but like sometimes you really do miss like the commentary and hearing what's going on as well. It's, you, of course you're like immersed in the action, right? But for those, I don't want to say downtimes, but the moments where the match isn't going on, like it'd be cool to hear someone talking, you know, besides the ring announcer, like hold up your signs or whatever. So I don't know. I just thought that maybe, again, maybe there's something I'm not aware of, but maybe they could tweak that in the future. But let me pop back in here really quick. All right, Rewind 89, you said, hey, side note, SmackDown is coming to Portland in a week, and I couldn't find anyone to go with me. Any tips on going to a wrestling event by yourself? I've done things by myself, but never a live event. Oh, you asked the right person, dude. I've probably done and gone to more events, as crazy as it sounds, and maybe like, I don't know, maybe it sounds like I sound like a loser, but I've gone to so much shit by myself for that reason, especially wrestling events, because where lived in Virginia, before I met like a certain group of guy friends years later, I knew no one who I take that back. I knew like two people who liked wrestling, but not enough to actually go to the shows. So I would just go once I had my license and I was able to, I would just go by myself. And I don't know, I'm just kind of like a weird person too, because like I'm that person, like I'll go by myself, I'll go to a restaurant by myself. Like I really don't give a shit. It's much more peaceful, to be honest with you sometimes. But wrestling, you're gonna get there, dude. I guess it depends on like kind of who you are as an individual too. If you're more of like if your personality is more of like an introvert, or if you're an extrovert. But for me, it's actually kind of a little bit even more fun going to a wrestling event by yourself because it can kind of force you to talk to people and to make new friends. And that's how I met like the dude I was actually talking about earlier. His name's Walter, the guy who mailed his chair to his house. I met him at a Ring of Honor show back in 2018, and I had gone to that show by myself. I went up there to see my grandpa, and I went to a show, and I met Walter. I was sitting right beside him, and we just started small talking, and then now we're really good friends years later. I've been to like probably like 3-4 shows with him. I met up with him at Mania. Pretty good friends. So honestly, dude, I just wouldn't overthink it. I would just go and have a good time. No one there is there to judge you, and if they are, then that's on them, and they're taking away from their enjoyment in life in the show if they're gonna sit there and judge you or whatever. But yeah, dude, like just make small talk, especially when you get to your seat. I like I said before, I try to get like an in seat, so it's easier, so you don't have to, you're not like crammed in between people. But just too, because like it's just easier to get up and go get something really quick. Because I hate bothering people, but just use that as an excuse to talk to people. You know what I mean? And again, like if the dude beside you is weird or whatever, just enjoy it. Just live in the moment, man. Like I don't know. And again, worst case, if you get there and it's like you feel completely awkward, it's only maybe at that point 3 hours, but it's only gonna be 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's not your whole night. You know, just enjoy it, man. Like it's not about like trying to like fit in with anyone or just like um feeling awkward, you know. But I get it because I completely felt awkward. I was like, oh my god, like do I look weird? Do I look like a loser being here by myself? And no, it actually is more freeing because you're not engaged talking to the person that you came there with, so you're free to talk to more people. So yeah, man, let me know how it goes though if you end up going. But I definitely recommend it, and don't let that stop you. What up, Juan? What up? What up? You say PlayStation 5 is the way to go? Dude, it's so funny you mentioned that because I was just talking to my friend Katie about it. And I'm definitely going to. I would say I've had my PlayStation 4 for over 10 years, probably like 13 years at this point. So I definitely need to. I didn't want to spend the money. I mean, kind of like a cheapskate in a lot of ways. But I definitely, when GTA 6 comes out, because I read that they're not going to make it for the PS4, which is bullshit. So especially if that's the case, then I'm definitely getting it then. But yeah, man. Well, it's on the list, but I hate like something in me, man. Because I love playing video games, but I'm not gonna like sit here and act like I'm a huge gamer or anything like that. So I kind of invest my money into other stuff that I'm a little bit more passionate about. But bro, it's definitely on the list. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger at this point. Sai, you said I could vouch for Diablo 4 and the PS. Good choice. Gotta run. All right, man. Have a good night. Have a good night. And thanks for the vouch for the Diablo 4. I'm excited for that. What up, baby? What up? What up? You say, good for you, Ash. I commend you for going to places by yourself. People just can't understand how I go to places by myself. Yeah, dude, I don't understand what's so weird about it. I mean, obviously, like if you're going and you're like sitting there looking like a creep, right? Then like, don't be weird, right? But like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and go into a whole psychology about myself to figure out why, but like, I think a lot of it for me is like I'm an only child, right? So I just kind of like entertained myself, and it was just good by myself. But yeah, dude, it's just like you don't have to worry about no one. You have to worry about no one else's schedule. You don't have to be like, what do you feel like eating? No, like, I don't really feel like eating that. Like, if I feel like eating tacos, I'm gonna go eat some tacos. I don't have to worry about no one else. You know what I mean? What's up, Maria? What is up? What is up? You say what's up, first time listener. What's up? I appreciate you stopping in. I appreciate that a lot. And you say just enjoy wrestling. Girl, that is my motto for sure. That is my motto. Just enjoy wrestling. I wish I could pin that on the board for permanently. Bebe, you also say I was at the Dynamite 250 by myself. I met people and had fun. See, there you go. Rewind 89. There you go, man. You're not gonna be the only one, and you'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised. And actually, I went to World's End by myself, but I did see another friend of mine who is a coworker who ended up going. I didn't even know he was a wrestling fan. It was kind of like a weird story. But long story short, we kind of met up there, but I didn't even see him after, like, once we got inside the arena. But the dude that I was sitting beside, he went by himself. So him and I started chatting. I didn't get his handle or anything like that, but really cool dude. He went by himself. So you'd be surprised. A lot more people go by themselves. And a dude sitting in front of me went by himself too. So you'd be surprised. A lot more people, what I was getting to, go by themselves. You say thanks for the advice, Ash. I'm an introvert, so I'm used to staying in my lane. I'm good with small groups. Looking forward to it. Dude, it may be weird, but I'm an introvert as well. That's why doing stuff like this was just very odd to me. And I really just started like kind of getting a little bit more not consistent as I'd like to be, but more regular with like audio and especially the video of this. But I'm just like a very awkward person. I'm definitely an introvert. I don't know. Like I was just that person that like I wouldn't like make it a point to not talk to people, but I just wasn't really pressed. But I just kind of I don't know, the past few years I've just kind of been like, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna talk to people, you know? Like again, like I don't go out of my way sometimes, but if I'm sitting beside someone, especially at like a show or something or like a festival, yeah, I'm gonna strike it up because obviously, you got one thing in common. You both dig whatever event you're at, so you can find something to talk about. If not, talk about the weather. That's always a go-to. Fernando, what is up? What is up? You say, what's good, Ash and everyone? And I think you commented on another post of or a video of mine. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you popping in here. Juan, you said, I got lucky with my PS5. My brother sold it to me for $200 because he got an arcade cabinet with pre-installed retro games. He wasn't using the PS5 anymore. PS5 doesn't drag on downloading. Bro, that's sick, man. That's dope. I'm happy for you, man. I'm surprised he got rid of it though, but I mean, an arcade cabinet with pre-installed retro games, that's pretty sick, dude. Pretty sick. That's a great deal. That's a great deal. So yeah, and you say it doesn't drag on downloading. That may be even more enticement for me to get it. Nick says you meet some great people who are also there by themselves at wrestling events. So yeah, man. Fernando, I'm the only one in my crew who likes wrestling, so I go watch live shows all the time. See, Rewind, you're in great company here, man. You are in great company. Nick says, what did you think of the fans' aim at ringside when they threw the... Yeah, we'll talk about that. The TP, the toilet paper, and my guy Ricochet. Fernando, a lot of people from the wrestling community at live shows are really cool, nothing like on social media. Dude, yeah. Although I will say, I don't want to say negative comments, but the main event got some interesting reactions from the people around me. But dude, you say, yeah, I'm in my fuck it phase. I'm going out more, meeting people, live my life. Exactly, dude. And that's pretty much what happened to me. I got to a point where I literally said, fuck it. Like, what's there to lose? You know what I mean? Either they like me and cool, or they don't, and I lose, quote unquote, lose someone who wasn't in my life to begin with anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's not really a loss in my opinion. But yeah, dude, props to you, man, because it's hard to get to that point and to actually embrace it. So good for you, bro. Good for you. I'm happy for you. And let us know. Let us know once you end up going to that SmackDown show how it went and made any friends. And if not, dude, like don't put pressure on yourself. Just go and have a good time. You know, it is what it is. But getting to the card here, because you guys know me, or if you're new to the show, I am one to ramble and get sidetracked, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. We do have Raw to get to later on as well. And again, like this is just my thoughts from being there on site. This obviously isn't going to be like move by move or anything like that. But we're starting with what was my favorite match of the night, and what I do want to go back and rewatch, and that is Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay in the Continental semifinal match. My goodness, dudes. My goodness. Like, this was my first time seeing an Ospreay match in person as well, so I was super excited for that. I'm one of those people that knew of Ospreay prior to his AEW signing, had seen some matches of his, but wasn't like too familiar with him. And I was excited for him to come over and just get to know him more as a wrestler, his character, and just vibe and see just what this dude is all about. And I became such a big fan of Ospreay I keep wanting to say last night, but at World's End, the way and it kind of like I'm gonna try to not get all over the place. But kind of fast forward a bit later when he had that promo backstage with Renee and how he was asking for the fans, like pretty much saying like he's gonna need the fans, he's gonna need to like lean on the fans for support to get him through the match later on. Which no spoiler, we all know that outcome at this point. But just the connection and just the emotion that he makes you feel, and just like I felt like that. I was like, man, like we need to fucking be here for this guy. Like, let's go, you know. So it was a really good night for Ospreay, in my opinion. As crazy as that sounds, but bro, like the blood, he was pouring, and obviously you guys saw because you had a much closer view than I did. But from where I was sitting, you could see the blood droplets just pouring out of his head. It was just insane, insane. And normally I'm kind of like 50-50 on like the blood thing. I'm not one of those people that gets grossed out. I've been to GCW shows before, so I'm not that type. But sometimes I'm like, with AEW in particular, I feel like it's a little bit too much. But for this one, did it need it? No. Now kind of take that back. Did Fletcher and Ospreay specifically that match need blood? Not in my opinion. But the story of the night for Ospreay, in my opinion, did. Well, I'm not going to say need, but it did enhance Ospreay, and it did enhance Ospreay's story and his story in the tournament, and which would then lead on to Okada. So I think that was very well done, and I liked how it. I don't know. Don't want to get all over the place, like I said, but I didn't even think Ospreay was gonna win. Kind of backtracking a little bit. My prediction, I thought Fletcher was gonna win the match and go on to face Okada in the finals. Obviously, I was wrong. So once Ospreay won, my bracket was busted. But I thought that once I saw that he was moving on, I was like, okay, well, surely he's not going to beat Okada, right? Like this is going to be his way out. And we all know what ended up happening. We'll talk about that match in a second. But I don't think it was necessarily even used as a crutch. I did think once he was making his entrance for his match against Okada, and he was kind of like wobbly a bit and just kind of looking lightheaded in a way, just from the blood loss, which is understandable, right? But between that and once the bell rang for the Okada match, and just him just really feeding off of the fans and the emotion, and just the fans like immediately just standing up and just like ready to fucking go, like I was saying, like we're ready to run through a wall for this guy, you know, and bloody our heads up for this guy. So I really love what they did with Ospreay. I think that they, again, like I get where people say like, you know, he's been losing too much. I do get that, but I think that this needs to be it though. I think he lost the tournament. Okay, fine. I think you need to really kind of focus on what his story is going to be, and whatever his journey is. I think he needs to not necessarily a redemption run, but just kind of like have it to where the losses in the tournament are really eating at him, and he feels like he needs to go on this redemption journey. Not us as the fans. Like to us, he has nothing to prove, right? It's just you win some, you lose some. But this kind of like fires him up, and he feels like he needs to right his wrongs and just like redefine who the fuck he is, you know, and tell himself again, like, I'm Will Ospreay, you know, like, yeah, like I've lost these matches, but my losses don't define me, type thing. And like, I'm here to prove a point. I'm here to be the champion, whatever, you know. I think we obviously now with the return of Adam Copeland, right, which we'll be getting to, I think we're still a little bit ways off for Ospreay fighting for the championship specifically, but I think that is going to happen in 2025. I would even be okay and maybe even recommend Ospreay take a month off, you know, and really sell the brutality that he went through in the tournament. Yes, it wasn't like a weapons match in that sense, but dude bled a lot, you know, and he went through a rough tournament. So I would be cool with him taking a little bit of time off, maybe just a month or so, nothing crazy, and then just coming back and kind of do what Tony Storm was doing, minus the amnesia part, but just kind of like starting and just not from the bottom again, because all that sounds like very negative, but just kind of picking up some quick and easy wins and just kind of like getting a good 5-6 matches under his belt. And then we kind of see, and during that time, like we know his mission statement, like we know he wants to go after X championship, hopefully and ideally it's the heavyweight championship, and he wants to save AEW, whatever that is. But, or if not, at least just declare what championship he's going for. He has 1 in 15, right? So just let us know his mission statement so we can get back on the bandwagon with him. But I think if you don't have him going after the heavyweight championship in 2025, then that's a miss and a loss in my opinion. But of course, again, to just confirm, if for whatever reason, if you haven't seen the show or you don't know the exact results, Ospreay did end up beating Kyle Fletcher to proceed to the finals, and then we got Okada facing Rick O'Shea up next, which this is my first time seeing Okada as well in person, and man, the vibes and the aura, right? That cliche thing about Okada is real. If you've listened to me in the past, I have been very down on the presentation of Okada in AEW. Not a knock on Okada, the performer. Obviously, in the ring, he's in a class of his own, right? But just the presentation, it's just been character-wise, it's just like I want to take him seriously. Like, what are we doing? And again, we'll obviously talk about here in a second. What the future looks like for Okada. But man, like hearing that coin drop and seeing him in action, it's just it's something else, man. It's something else. And the dude is funny as fuck too. The moment when Ricochet was sitting down and Okada ran the ropes, he went pretty much made a T, ran the one way and then the other way, and on his way back, he acted like he was gonna, I think, like kick Ricochet or something, but he just smacked him in his bald head. Oh, just fucking fantastic. Fantastic. I was so mad I didn't get that on a video clip. Man, he's tremendous. But of course, we know what ended up happening here. Okada took the victory. No surprise. So we end up getting Ospreay and Okada in the finals. But one of the key segments and takeaways from what happened after the match and on the card in general at World's End was the TPing again, the toilet paper, just assault on Ricochet. We got Swerve coming out. Pretty much Swerve was just mocking Ricochet, saying, has it feel to pretty much end up in the same spot in the tournament that I did last year? Because Ricochet, of course, talked shit prior. So Swerve came out, talked shit back. Next thing you know, we have Prince Nana wheeling out like a big ass like cart full of toilet paper and passing it out to the people around the ring. And obviously, you know what's going to happen at that point. But and like I think it was Nick said earlier, the aim on everyone who threw the toilet paper, bravo. Like it was like you would have thought that it came out of cannons and it was like precisely aimed. Like these people, like, great job, Floridians, great job. Like y'all made me proud with the the TPing of my guy Ricochet. But man, it was just, the match was good. It was a fun match for me. It was just fun. I really enjoyed Ricochet. I enjoyed what he's doing. I enjoyed the direction that he's going in. And I'm very much intrigued to see the depths that he takes it to, and if we do end up getting like Samantha Irvin coming in and him playing off of her and like them being like a manager couple type thing. So that'd be really cool to see. But it was no surprise to me that Okada won, and especially once Ospreay won, it was. And some people I said too, like, because I thought, like I said earlier, we were gonna get Okada and Fletcher in the finals, but a lot of people were saying, like, do you think Tony Khan would miss up an opportunity to have Ospreay and Okada, especially in a tournament final? And I should have seen that coming. But to kind of wrap up the Continental Classic portion, like I said, obviously we got to the finals, not even necessarily, but not in that order. But just to kind of wrap up that portion of the card, we did obviously get the final match, and like I said earlier, we had a nice little backstage promo with Ospreay, pretty much just saying that he needs the fan support. And we did get some words from Okada as well, but I couldn't hear what he said. It was just really, the audio was low in the building. So, and the only reason I really heard what Osprey was saying was because a lot of people in my section had left at that point to go get something to eat really quick. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know, just a happy, I guess, storm for that matter. But the finals, again, once I saw the state that Osprey was in, I was like, okay, Okada's gonna win. And I thought that it was going to be a quicker match. I thought that they were going to use that more as a detriment to Osprey than they did. And again, Osprey is just amazing. So props to that guy. Like kudo, like all the positivity. Just like thank you, dude. Like thank you for doing what you do and putting your body through the insane shit, especially like just last night alone that he did. Because I'm sure I keep saying last night, Saturday night. I am sure this guy is feeling it, right? So I hope he's resting. I hope he's eating all the carbs and all the desserts and everything that he wants. He's eating and he's getting right now. Because that dude deserves it, and that's what I was saying too. Like, just take some time, like a month off, even. But if and when they're ready to strap the rocket to him, and in the sense of becoming the heavyweight champion and the face of AEW, it's going to be a no-brainer. It's going to be like one of the easiest things Tony Khan can and will do. Hopefully will do. But the story with Okada and Osprey, of course, Okada ended up retaining and winning the tournament, retaining the championship. We got Christopher Daniels, who came out right after, and at first I was like, okay, like Okada, like what's going on, and then we saw Christopher Daniels come out on the stage, and he said that he's no longer, or at this point, it would be his job to present the championship to Okada, but he is no longer an EVP as of Saturday. However, this man is, and out comes Kenny Omega. And y'all, I was so happy to see Omega. I didn't even realize I missed Omega personally as much as I did until I saw him, because again, not going to sit here and pretend like I am or was the biggest Omega fan, but very similar to, actually damn near the same, see, as in Osprey or Boat or whatever you want to call it. I knew of Omega. I had seen a couple of his matches, but prior to AEW starting, I really didn't know much about Omega, and I was really excited to learn about him and to see like who's, like, why is this guy the best bout machine, and like what makes him the cleaner, like just who is he? And I didn't even, like, I don't know, maybe it was just being there and seeing him and like being involved in the return or whatever, but I don't even think it's that. I'm just so happy Omega's back, and it's a good feeling for AEW too. I think that for AEW as like its foundation, like Omega just gives you a good feeling, like I don't know what it is, and again, maybe I'm just crazy or biased or whatever since I was there, but seeing him come back and just seeing him dressed up as well in the suit, looking dapper as hell. His hair was pulled back. Like, this guy looked like $1,000,000. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I mean, before we would see him come out in t-shirts and just like sweats and whatever. Like, okay, cool. And hey, I'm sitting here in sweats, you know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here like a suit and tie type shit. But like, this dude came out in a suit and like looking like $1,000,000. I'm like, that's my dude. Like, let's go, Mega. Let's go. And of course, he was going down to the ring to hand the title to Okada, to obviously foreshadow what's going to happen in the future with them. But yeah, I don't know. And I read something on Twitter where like commentary, I think it was Tony Schiavone, said that, I don't know exactly how he said it because obviously I didn't hear it. But something to the effect of like, Omega isn't ready to come back now, but when he is, like in the future, like that's a message to Okada or something. I don't know. But like, did they just really not mention that he has a match in like a week at Wrestle Dynasty? So I don't know if that's the case. That's kind of odd to me. But I'm here for it, my dudes. I am so fucking happy Omega is back. I hope we get him soon. Like, I do what you gotta do in Japan, and maybe if it's like 3 weeks from now, a month from now, whatever, come on back. We do need you here in AEW, even if you don't think we do need you. But yeah, I'm very excited to see Osprey, to see Omega back, and I think that it's something that AEW really does need, whether he thinks it or not. Gonna go back in the comments here really quick. Oh damn, I'm behind. Damn. I really am behind. Sorry, guys. All right. Maria, you said agree. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay match was excellent. Was that your match of the night too? Man, like they just fucking stole the show, man. Oh, just unbelievable. Kyle versus Kyle was fire. Kyle was great, but I mean, maybe he could wrestle himself and have a great match too. Have a fire match. No, but Kyle versus Ospreay. I assume you're referring to there. Just fucking with you, man. Maria, you said I started watching old school ECW, so I don't mind blood and wrestling at all. All right, girl. What year? Like what time frame? Or did you just kind of like, are you like a newer fan and went back or like what, like when did you start watching? Like what time frame? Was it like live and during that time frame, or did you kind of watch it like after the fact? Ba-ba-bum. You say Ospreay should go to and face Takesha. Okay. I just want him to go for the main event though, man. I'm ready. What is up, the wrestling old head? Dope. I really like your logo there, man. That's dope. Props to you, man. I'm gonna have to check you out. You said Okada knocked the Okada knocked the eyebrows off Ricochet with that slap. The last hair I said that he has, man. I guess wait, does he have a goatee still? But yeah, he does. Bro, he needs all the hair he can get on his head though. Don't take his eyebrows from him. What up, Sean? What up? Yes, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was funny though, bro. It was dumb, but it was funny. Oh man. No, he probably doesn't need to be involved with it, but they were, that Ricochet pretty much did talk shit to him, so it made sense to me. Wrestling Head, you said somebody on Twitter affectionately called him Ricochet. Oh, he was doing something right because he is being talked about and getting engagement. Yeah, man, but he's also gotten buried by a couple fans too, which was fucking hilarious as well. You also say Wrestling Head, Ricochet and Samantha Irvin could be the new age Chris Candido. Ooh, Tammy Sitch. What a great call out. What a great call out there. Oh, that would be fantastic. Sean, you say Fletcher should have won, in my opinion. People really like Samantha Irvin, though. That's an issue. So kind of two points there. I agree. I still agree, though. I think Fletcher should have won. I liked what they ended up doing with Ospreay, even though I wish I get why he lost, but it's still just kind of annoying to me. No, I'm not gonna say annoying, but just kind of a bummer or whatever the word is. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I'm over him losing, is what I'll say. And yeah, I thought that you really could have made Fletcher, having him go all the way in the tournament. So, and yeah, people do. I love Samantha Irving. I was really upset when she left WWE. Bum, bum, bum. Yes, very happy to see Kenny back. Very, very happy. Rewind 89, you say I love Samantha Irvin and feels like she likes being there and her personality really comes out to you. You can't fake that. Yeah, and I think that's probably what Sean was referring to as well. Like Samantha Irvin, she just feels genuine as well. Like seeing her emotion and hearing her emotion when she would just make announcements, it's just it sucks you in, man. It sucks you in. And it just makes you feel. Yeah, and Wrestling Head, said, I agree. Omega and Okada, if they are waiting for July, should be for the world title. Yeah, and that's why I was just, again, kind of surprised that they had Okada retain the title here, because just why? Why? All right, but I am going to get back and finish up with the card here, and then I'll finish up with your comments. Just because we are getting a little late, and I do want to let you guys go and be able to watch Raw, right? But we had Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa in a Tijuana street fight for the AEW Women's Championship. This one was fine. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more, but it's fine. And again, like I think it was just there was build for this match, but it wasn't as serious as it needed to be, to, like, in my opinion, unless I missed something. Again, like I could have missed something on Collision or Rampage, but to bring out Thunder Rosa's father, like that was kind of heavy, just, I mean, nothing, it's not like Mariah beat him up or anything. She did make fun of him. Mariah took his walker or whatever, his cane, but nothing, I don't know, it just seems like you could have saved that, but whatever. Maybe it was just in the area and she was like, hey, want to be involved? But I did go back in here also that the dirt that they had used was the the dirt from the Tijuana graveyard or some shit. So that's wild. Um, but yeah, of course, no surprise here. I mean, I wasn't able to see the where the table was set up was on the opposite side of the ring from me. But of course, we know, no surprise, Mariah May retained her title. She retained it by hitting a pile driver off the apron through the table, which is pretty gnarly. And again, I'm happy that they used a spot like that as the finish. And Thunder Rosa didn't just kick out, right? Or regardless, whoever took that didn't just kick out. But yeah, and they left one of those I don't want to say cardboard, those like boards up at the top that was like designed, the one on the heel side in the entrance. They left that, they didn't no one got thrown through that, which I was surprised by. Moving on, we had MJF versus Adam Cole for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. If you have listened to me before, I am not going to go through my disdain for this story and the clusterfuck that it was leading up to this. I will just simply say that I am happy and hopeful that this is over. However, I do fear that we are not completely finished. It's just odd to me that Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are just so like happy-go-lucky still with Adam Cole, and now like that all the five of them are good, right? That Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are good together, and Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, like they're good. And Adam Cole is just kind of like the guy in the middle who holds both like duos together. It's just really kind of awkward and odd to me. So that's why I feel like we still could be getting some type of swerve from Taven and Bennett, and they end up aligning with MJF. Now, part of me was thinking that, but then I was like, wouldn't they have wanted to help MJF more in the match? But I don't know. So I guess it's just me being scared that this thing is never going to end. But it was just, I was waiting for it. Again, I was waiting for it. After the match, you had Adam Cole taking the ring from MJF, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why would you take it? Like, just be done with him. Like, yes, you lost. And again, that kind of leads me open to why they may end up having like a 6-man match, you know, with Taven and Bennett being on MJF's side and the quote unquote undisputed era, you know, for, you know, lack of better phrasing. I guess they would take over the Undisputed Kingdom formation then. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I hope it doesn't end up getting to that. But Adam did steal the ring, so I'm very concerned. I am very concerned, guys. But I am happy that MJF won. Because I was hopeful that this would be over with, but it's not. So it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm trying not to go off again, but I'm just gonna move on. All right. Talking about a match that didn't have much build going into it is Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. But in my predictions, I was kind of hopeful. I didn't think this one was going to be like a show stealer or anything like that, right? When you have Ospreay and Okada, it's very hard to do. But I thought that this could be a potential sleeper of the match, or of the card rather. And this was good. I'm not going to say it was a great match, but it kept me hooked. You know, I was going to I need to get up and go get some food and use the restroom, right? But I didn't want to leave once this match started. I was like, you know what? No, they're hooking me. So I was really curious to see how Hobbs looked in this match against Takeshita, just because we haven't seen Hobbs as much lately in the ring. And obviously he had that knee injury. So I was just really excited and intrigued to see how he was going to look going up against Takeshita, because they do have kind of conflicting styles as well. But they did a really good job. They did have that moment on the turnbuckle where they were going for the superplex and they slipped. That was scary. I'm not going to lie. That was scary. I don't know if it came across on TV, but we started chanting, please be careful. But they ended up hitting it successfully on the other side. But yeah, and the story was there with the whole Don Callis family and things like that. Like, I get it, but it just kind of felt rushed to me. But I am happy that Hobbs, and Takeshita for that matter, got a match on the card. Some people, you can make a case for that not to be the excuse or the reasoning or the justification, but I'm happy these two got a spot. And of course, Takeshita did retain as well. Next, we had Mercedes Moné, our TBS champion, facing off against Chris Statlander. And to be honest with you guys, this one was okay. Like in the beginning, I don't even know how many minutes. But the real moment of the match, and like the turning point, in my opinion, is when Mercedes hit what was originally thought to be the Three Amigos, ended up being like, I think she hit it, like 7-8 times. the suplexes, and like the more she hit, like the more and more like just, and she shouldn't, right, since she's the heel, but crowd support, and it was a fun match. It ended up being a fun match in that sense. After that point, it was fine up until then. Like I wasn't like hating or dissing the match at all, but it was fine. I was sitting there thinking, okay, like they're good. Like like you can tell like they both know what they're doing. They're solid. They're smooth. Like they're not like hesitant with each other. You know what I mean? But they're not snug or not snug in the sense like they're not like stiffing each other. I guess is a better word than snug. But yeah, like I just, and then it got to be kind of weird too, because then like it was kind of like a mixed reaction. Like people were chanting CEO and supporting Mercedes, but especially at the end where Mercedes ended up retaining the title. I don't know if it came across on TV, but Chris Statlander, it wasn't necessarily a standing ovation, like it wasn't the entire arena standing, but everyone was cheering for her and like giving her a round of applause. So she should be proud. And I think it was a good match. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with her going forward. I think she's going to address what happened with her and Willow, and they're going to try to work that out. But I don't think she's going to be facing off for a championship anytime soon, because now that's 2 losses clean back to back. And I don't really know how you justify it after that. So we'll see. But I believe that brings us to our clusterfuck. That is the main event. Of course, our champion, Jon Moxley, being accompanied by Marina Shafir, was defending his championship that we have not seen physically against Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White. In a 4-way for the championship itself. I should have more water. Take another sip. Okay. You knew what this match was going into it. You knew who was going to win going into this match, right? That was never the question. My question going in and coming out of it was, are we going to see, this is not the main question, but are we going to see Shane, right? Because again, if you're just now listening to me for the first time, I was one of those people, man. I was buying into, oh, Shane's going to show up, da-da-da. I wasn't like naive about it, right? Like if I had to put money on it, like I probably wouldn't have, but, or depending on the odds in my return, but I was like, it's not that crazy, like I made a whole list of reasons why it would make sense, but obviously that did not end up happening. And that was just one of the questions that I had coming out of it. But the main one was going to be, how does this set up the future, and what angle does this set up going forward? Because you can't have a multi-man match like this and then not have a clear direction going forward for a character in the position that Moxley is in with this type of story and this type of severity. Because they're trying to take over AEW, guys. Like we need someone to defend AEW. So you can't just have like a story like that, not have direction and continuously. You know what I mean? Like you can't like have Moxley beat all these guys and then not maybe show, or maybe show up on Wednesday, right? And then maybe address what's going to happen. But I really like what they did in the sense that we know who he's facing off against next. Now, do I agree with it all? And do I like how the main event ended? Absolutely not. So it's the dude I was talking about earlier, the guy who was sitting beside me who ended up going there by himself. It the way the match ended was just so bizarre. So Wheeler Yuta, of course, and earlier in the match, and I didn't even think about it being a 4-way no DQ. They of course ended up like brawling out in the arena. I was kind of close to where I almost said Cesaro, Claudio, and all the and Hangman and all of them were originally kind of in that corner, but I was still like I was a couple rows away from it still, but I was in that area. And that, of course, once I realized they were coming out, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. That's probably how the finish is gonna be determined. But the way it happened, right? And another like just fantastic moment of the match too, just kind of like spacing it out, was when Jay White hit the switchblade on Marina Shafir. Just fucking beautiful. Loved it. I loved it. But in regards to the finish, Jay White was in the ring. He's staring down on Yuta, who was ringside. Shafir came in. That's when that kind of like setting up the last sequence. That's when Shafir came in. White turned around, didn't know it was her, hit Shafir with the Blade Runner. That set up Wheeler Yuta coming in, who hit Jay White with a bazooka knee. which then Moxley came in, followed up with a Death Rider on Jay White and hit the 1-2-3. When that happened, literally the dude sitting beside me, he said, "What the fuck? No, that's it." Literally word for word what he said, because I almost started laughing because they reminded me of like Twitter, because like it was just bonkers. I was like, really, this is how you're gonna end your main event with all this fuckery going on and like all this interference? Like, come on. And again, if anyone pops in, like this is not a comparison AEW to WWE. Does WWE do this shit in the bloodline matches every fucking time? Do I like it there? No, it's annoying and it's so predictable, and it's a crutch, it's just a crutch, and it really grinds my gears, man. And it just takes away from the importance of the title, in my opinion, because I don't know. And it's just odd to me too that you have a whole tournament where no one, like everyone is banned from ringside, but your main event, you can't ban anyone from ringside there. Like, come on, that makes no sense. So that's where I really get kind of frustrated. And I'm just like, make it make sense, make it make sense, and or at least somewhat sense, and I'll play along. But that shit just didn't. And of course, that led to FTR's music playing, making their way halfway down the ramp, and then the lights went out. Lights came back on, or I'm sorry, lights went out. Then we got the display on the big screen, rated. I honestly, I don't know if it said rated, but it said, I think it had to say rated, or I think, rated FTR. I think that's what it said. I don't remember what the exact logo was, but it gave the indication for Adam Copeland. His music hit, and everyone lost their mind. And again, that's what I was saying at the start of the video too. As I was recording it, I looked up at the box because Christian was out or in one of the sky boxes, not teasing, but indirectly teasing that he had his not Money in the Bank briefcase contract, just sitting up there. I was looking up at him to see what his reaction is to Adam Copeland returning and just like interjecting himself into all this. And as I was looking up at Christian, motherfucker speared Moxley, and I'm like, God, man, like I felt like, what was it, WWE's production when Goldberg spears Ziggler when he returned, or not Goldberg. Oh Christ, forgive me. When Edge speared, I can call him Edge. When Edge speared Ziggler in Toronto, and they missed the original shot. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man! Like, I just was kicking myself. And again, it's not that big of a deal, but it was a cool little moment. But yeah, they came out, so that sets up the. I would assume, I don't know if it's official yet, but what you would assume, a 6-way match with Rated FTR facing off against the Death Riders, which has to be, unless they would throw Pac in there instead, but I would assume it would be Mox, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta. But I guess they could put Pac in there in his place. I don't see why they would, unless they're just trying to hold off the Mox insertion of it, and to kind of prolong him physically interacting with Copeland in a match. But yeah, I don't know if that's officially made. Let me pull it up and see if my browser wants to work. Oh, it's spinning. I'm gonna go through the comments here really quick. But they're gonna be in Asheville for a Fight for the Fallen, which is really cool. And again, props to AEW and Tony Khan for what he does for those types of organizations that need help. They are still dealing with the remnants of, was it Hurricane Helene over there in Asheville. So props to Tony Khan for bringing the show out there and trying to raise awareness and to get donations and to just get help, and just kind of like shine the light over them and just give them something good to go and enjoy as well if they're in the area and able to. But I have the card pulled up here. Okay, cool. So it is official. We have Rated FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, of course, teaming up with Adam Copeland, facing off against the Death Riders, which is Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio. So that's going to be a cool match. We have Julia Hart facing off against Jamie Hayter, Orange Cassidy versus Hangman Adam Page. Wow, okay. Jeff Jarrett makes an announcement. So that was teased, I think, at some point as well. So we'll see what that has to, or what that's going to be about. And the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin facing off against the Acclaimed. I feel that's random. Like, wasn't Max Caster offered a business card? Whatever. But yeah, guys, that was the card. I'm gonna go through the comments here, and then I will jump off so you guys can watch Raw. But thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you popping in and just chatting with me. Whether you did now live, I appreciate that, or if you do in the future, I appreciate that too. Or if you think I suck and you want to talk shit, let me know too, and we could talk some shit. So I'm just gonna, like I said, go through the chat here really quick before we pop off. And again, if I missed something, sorry about that, but you guys are active, so I appreciate that. And you guys are out there chatting it up. Chatting it up. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Wrestle Dynasty is going to be dope, but that's why and again, I don't know if that's true or not. Like, if they didn't even reference Omega being at Wrestle Dynasty, because didn't they just show a video package from, like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Are we supposed to know? Are we supposed to follow things on Twitter? Are we not supposed to? I'm not gonna get into that right now. Johnny, what's up? What's up? You say dream matches you won in 2025 from AEW. I want Osprey versus Moxley. I don't know if that would be a dream match, per se, but I want. I'm not even. I want Osprey to win the title. I think Osprey should be the guy to dethrone Moxley, and yeah, that's what I want, really. Ricochet, you say Johnny Ricochet should get a brand deal sponsorship with Scotch Tissue. Facts. Facts. Oh gosh. Yeah, where was the conglomeration and the guns during the four-way? And also, is Kyle O'Reilly still with the conglomeration, or is he just solely Undisputed Kingdom now? Like, so many questions. Wrestling Old Head, you said, Akagash Podcast, appreciate the love and the logo. You know your stuff, live your takes, respect. Oh, thanks, bro. No, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you commenting and popping in here. And like I said, I'm definitely going to check you out, man. I love the logo. I'm a sucker for logos, so it's pretty dope. Chris, you say, did you, I guess, see WWE Holiday Tour? No, because I was at World's End, and it was the exact same day and the exact same time. I wish I could be two places at once, but not yet. Not yet. But I'm sure someone out there will figure that out at some point. Okay, Maria, you said I watched ECW after the fact a while ago, and it blew my mind. Girl, yes. Bro, it's just crazy. Crazy. It is crazy to see now, like, what, like, in retrospect, what they got away with, like, doing. And obviously the ECW, they were almost on TNN in the early years, but that got nicked pretty quick. But it's just crazy to see and hear what they got away with back in the day. And especially, again, don't have time for this tonight, but I've gone back and watched, like, some random Raws, and my goodness, the stuff that they did and said, especially to the women. Like, I remember watching a lot of it live and kind of just being like, it just not really, like, just kind of like just like mindlessly watching, really. But now looking back, I'm like, oh my god, like, what the fuck? Ugh. But yeah, Adam Cole has stopped using the fake tanner, so that's great. Yes, Maria, you said I hope this feud is over too. I think we all do. I think we all do. Bebe says, does anyone know if Samantha Irvin had a non-compete clause in her contract to leave? I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't know, honestly. I'm just gonna say I don't think so, but I obviously could be wrong. Johnny, no, I had to second Sean. No one wants to see that on the pole match. I thought that we were gonna get it on the pole the way they were talking, but we didn't. But yeah, Fernando, you said this was Hobbs' best performance in his AEW career. Yeah, man, it was definitely up there, if not the best, for sure, for sure. Yeah, Wrestling Head, you said Statlander is a good dance partner for Monet. They have good chemistry. Incorporating Willow Nightingale could only help not get the fans cheering for Monet prematurely. Yeah, because Willow is my girl, man. I love me some Willow. She's just the like one of the easiest people to like. It's insane. Yeah, Sean, you said it is what it was, or it was what it was. Why did Jay? I mean, yeah, man, they could have pinned Orange Cassidy, right? But you know they ain't gonna. Orange is his boy. He's not gonna pin Orange. unless he has to. Wrestling old head, you said Copeland could work to rally a young wrestler to go after Mox after Copeland loses, like a Darby Allin who filmed his debut video package. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling Darby to be the one that dethrones Moxley. Like, I've really gained a lot of love for Darby, so I'm not gonna no hate, but I just don't see him being the one to dethrone Mox. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go through here really quick. But again, I appreciate you guys for popping in and staying with me. Thank you so much. Fernando, you say I watch WWE, but I watch AEW as an alternative for a different kind of wrestling program. All right, dude, dope. Dope. And definitely as an alternative for any facet of the definition of that word. It definitely is different. Thanks, Fernando. I appreciate it, man. You said fire stream. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Sean, we definitely do need a better main event story, but that's what we'll see, man. Going strong for 2025. We'll see. Let's just hope for the best. All right. Getting down to the end here. Fernando, you said I agree 100. I love that little emoji. It should be Will Ospreay to take the championship from Mox, but looks like it's going to be Darby. Yeah, man. But so why have Claudio just beat Darby so decisively then, right? Bebe, you said I appreciate the stream tonight. It made my hour-long commute home more fun. Man, and props to you, bro. Like, props to you for the work that you do. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you popping in and having a chance to drop a comment. I appreciate that, man. Wrestling Old Head, you said love the energy and vibe in this chat, and it's all because of Kickash. This community is dope. Special shout out to Fernando and Sean. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, our little community here going strong, man. That's why I appreciate all you new people popping into Wrestling Old Head, Fernando and Maria popping in, all you guys popping in who haven't been in prior. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, like I said, like obviously, like I'm not out here like I'm not the highest production value and all that, like the most creative and shit. I don't know. I just like to sit here and just talk wrestling, you know, and just kind of decipher what I see, what I like, stuff that frustrates me, you know, and just kind of go from there, man. But this is what honestly, this is why I love to do this type of version and kind of chat this way as opposed to recording, which is what my go-to used to be. Just because I get to chat with new people and get to meet new people like you. So I appreciate you popping in, man. And everyone check out the Wrestling Old Head. You know, looks like he has a podcast there. I'm assuming you're on YouTube as well. So I'm definitely going to search you out, man. So again, thanks for popping in. Juggernaut, what up? What up? You said I don't really understand what the end goal is with Mox, bro. We're all sitting here trying to figure out the same thing. Thank you, Rewind. I appreciate you, man, and enjoy the show. Let me know how it goes when you go. But yes, guys. Oh yeah, Sean, thanks for that. You said check out Ashley's show with Stephanie Chase. It's old, but it was really good. Man, I don't know. We got a lot of hate on that. A lot of hate. It was a preview, a prediction show. Stephanie Chase reached out to me and we did a prediction show over on Fightful. It was really dope. It was last Friday. Really dope. I was really honored and just flattered that she even knew who I was, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, we got a lot of hate on that because I guess we were negative Nancy's over there. I just kind of like I see, you know, kind of like what I did tonight, you know. But yeah, a lot of I guess what do they call it, AEW fanboys popped out or whatever. And again, like I enjoy like going back and forth with people. Some people say like I hate AEW and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is where all the ludicrous comments come from. I see. Okay. Oh, Fernando, you watch it there. Okay, cool. You said you're awesome on the Fightful stream with Stephanie Chase. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, baby, you say for God's sake, please use Blue Sky. Yeah, man. I can't tweet or I don't know post anything because it says I have to do an additional level of verification. And when I go to my email, I click on the link to confirm my email, and it takes me back to the app, and it's just like a loop. So, me fucking technology. This is why I don't use social media. Yeah, Sean, you said don't worry about the hate. You can't please anyone. Speak your truth. Yeah, man, you know me. I'm gonna speak it how I see it. I don't think we're gonna get this one again though, Sean. I think we're gonna get them teaming up Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. If and when we do see them again. But guys, it is past that time for Raw. You are late. You are late for Raw. Thankfully, and obviously, I definitely wouldn't be doing it for the debut on Netflix. But I appreciate you guys again for sticking around and chatting with me, especially running into Raw. I know it's appointment TV, so I appreciate you kind of having me on in the background and just being here. But I definitely will be wrapping up here now and letting you go. I appreciate you all again. I can't say that enough. And yeah, the channel's really grown in the past like month or so. It's pretty cool. So I appreciate that. Yeah, baby, I did a show. I did a show with Stephanie Chase. Yeah, the Stephanie Chase. When she messaged me, I told her I was like I had to check the profile and make sure it was her because I found her on PW Torch a little while ago, not too long, just maybe like a few months ago. And I quickly became a fan of hers. I love her style. I love how blunt she is and how she calls it like she sees it. Obviously, she has much more cred and she has cred that I don't, right? She's interviewed wrestlers and stuff like that, and she's a journalist. She takes what she does obviously very seriously, and she's put a lot of work into it and a lot of work into her channel. So I aspire to be like her, and I'm just happy and like, if not for nothing else, like we have another female, like a strong female in the wrestling world as well. So I dig her. So if you haven't, yeah, definitely follow and subscribe and all that good stuff, which I'm sure you guys have at this point. But with her, yeah. Awesome, Maria. Okay, cool. That you said that's how you discovered me on the Fightful stream. Awesome, dude. Well, thank you for coming over. I really appreciate that. And no disrespect if I call you, or when I call you dude, Maria, I call everyone dude. It's a term of endearment. But no disrespect there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Nick, you said really quick, who is Stephanie Chase, a podcaster? So I don't know like her full like resume, but she definitely is a podcaster. She has a channel here on YouTube, so check out like search Stephanie Chase. Um, I found her from PW Torch. She had done a couple of review show like post like Dynamite review shows with Wade. And I think I know she has interviewed wrestlers. She's gone to like some media scrums as well. But yeah, like again, like I don't know like her full story, but that's kind of like what I know, like long story short of her. But I dig her. She's not one of those kiss ass people, like, like she just like she'll like kind of like bite her tongue on something to hope to like get in good with anyone. Like, no, she calls it like she sees it, but she's not an asshole, like she's just not out there like talking crap just because it's cool or whatever, or to get clicks. Like she's just real, and like I just kind of like I liked her style and I liked her vibe. So yeah, definitely check her out, Nick. Definitely check her out. But yes, guys, thank you again so much. Yeah, man, definitely. But again, thank you so much for hanging around with me. I appreciate you. And until next time, my friends, stay safe and like I always say, enjoy some wrestling, guys. Take it easy.